You know that sinking feeling when someone says, let's get together, and then nothing happens? You're not being ghosted. You might have just misunderstood a huge part of American social language. Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
So, Leo, I want to start with a quick story. A few years ago, I had a student from China, brilliant English, great grammar, but she was really upset. She told me she thought Americans were very fake and unreliable
Oh no, why?
because she had met a colleague at a conference. They had a great talk. At the end, the colleague smiled, gave her a hug, and said, "It was so great to see you. We should totally get lunch and catch up soon." My student was thrilled. She waited a week, nothing. She sent a friendly message saying, "Hey, still up for that lunch?" No reply. She felt ignored and disrespected.
Ouch, that's rough. But, was the colleague just being rude?
That's the million-dollar question, and the answer is probably not. In American English, phrases like, "we should do this," "let's catch up," and "call me anytime" are often what we call social lubricants. They're not always literal invitations. They're a warm, friendly way to end a conversation. They mean, "I enjoyed this interaction." Not necessarily, "I am making a calendar appointment with you right now."
Wait, really? So when someone says we should hang out, they might not want to hang out?
It sounds crazy when you say it like that, but often, yes. It's a gesture of goodwill. The intention in the moment is genuine goodwill, but the commitment level is near zero. Think of it like saying, "How are you?" You don't actually want a detailed medical report, right? It's a greeting. "Let's catch up" can be the goodbye version of that.
My mind is blown. I've definitely taken those phrases at face value. So how do you know if it's real or just social noise?
Excellent question. That's exactly what we're decoding today. We're going to look at three of the most common promise phrases, learn the hidden cultural rules behind them, and most importantly, I'm going to give you the exact language to navigate them so you never feel confused or pushy again.
I'm ready. This is a mystery I need solved.
Let's start with the king of them all. "We should do this," or "we should get together." Picture this, Leo. You run into an old acquaintance, not a close friend, at the grocery store. You chat for 5 minutes about work, the weather. The conversation is winding down. What do they say?
Well, it was nice seeing you. We should get coffee sometime.
Exactly. Bingo. That's the classic. Now, in that moment, do they want to get coffee with you?
I don't know anymore. You've broken my brain.
Haha, let's analyze. The context is key. It was a spontaneous, casual, short meeting. No calendars were out, no specific details were discussed. It was a pleasant chat that reached its natural end. In that context, "we should get coffee sometime" is 99% of the time a polite closure. It's a way to say, "This was nice, and I have positive feelings about you, and I'm ending this on a high note." The word "sometime" is the big clue. It's the vaguest time word in the English language. It means in the indefinite future. It's not a plan.
Okay, so sometime is a red flag for vagueness.
It's not a red flag, it's just a signal. There's nothing wrong with saying it. It's very normal. The problem happens when the listener, especially from cultures where words are taken more literally, hears a real invitation and then feels hurt when it doesn't happen. For example, in many cultures, if you say, "we should eat together," it implies you will start discussing dates, or you are making a sincere offer. Here, it often doesn't.
So what's the second phrase?
"Let's catch up." This is very similar, but it's often used when you haven't seen someone in a long time. A friend from college, a former coworker. You message them, "Hey, long time no see." They reply, "OMG, yes, we have to catch up soon." Again, often a gesture. It acknowledges the passage of time and expresses a general desire for connection, but it doesn't lock anything in.
And the third one?
"Call me anytime," or "text me if you need anything," said often when someone is being helpful. Maybe you're moving and a neighbor says, if you need help, just call me. Or a colleague helps you with a project and says, anytime you have a question, just shoot me a text. This is an expression of openness and support. It's not necessarily an invitation to call them at 9 p.m. on a Saturday to chat about the weather. It means I am not closing the door to you. The anytime is often hyperbolic.
This is fascinating. So if these aren't real invites, how do you make them real? Or how do you respond without sounding awkward?
Great pivot, Leo. Because sometimes you do want to actually see the person. The magic is in the follow up. The initial phrase is the opening. Your response determines if it becomes a real plan or just floats away as a nice sentiment. Let's do a real life scenario. I'll be the acquaintance, you be you. We run into each other at the bookstore.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, Leo. Hi, how are you?
Maya, wow, it's been ages. I'm good, how are you?
Can't complain, just grabbing a book. You look great. Wow, we should totally catch up properly.
Yeah, we really should. It's been too long.
All right, well, so nice to see you. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Okay, stop. Classic interaction. Pleasant, vague, over. Now, Leo, if you actually wanted to see me, what could you have said differently in that moment to turn we should catch up into a real plan?
I could say, yes, let's. Are you free next week?
Good instinct. But that's a bit of a jump. You're going from 0 to 100. It can feel a little sudden or pressuring, especially in a quick chance meeting. Here's a more natural step-by-step way. Instead of just agreeing vaguely, you add a specific low-pressure next step. Try this. Yeah, I'd love that. I'll text you this week and we can find a time.
Oh, that's good.
Why does it work? First, you show genuine enthusiasm. I'd love that. Then you take the responsibility. I'll text you. This removes the burden from them. And you keep it vague but actionable this week. You've transformed a vague social promise into a gentle commitment with a clear next action. It feels proactive but not pushy.
I see. So you're basically adding the first concrete piece to the puzzle.
Exactly. The other person can then easily say, perfect, sounds good, without any pressure. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. Sometimes the person saying, let's catch up, might be surprised if you actually follow up, not in a bad way, but they might not have expected it. That's okay. When you text them a few days later with, hey, it was great running into you, would you be up for coffee next Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon? You've now made it real. And if they're busy, they'll say so, but often they'll say yes because you've done the work of making it easy.
That makes so much sense. So the mistake is just letting the phrase hang there and then waiting for them to make a move.
100%. That's the classic learner mistake. They hear the promise, they believe it literally, and they wait. And they wait and they feel hurt or think they did something wrong. No, you just didn't know the unspoken rule. The person who expresses the desire to meet is not always the person who initiates the plan. The listener can and should initiate if they're interested.
What if you're the one who says, we should hang out, but you actually do mean it? How do you signal that?
Fantastic question. You add specificity immediately. You move past the vague phrase within the same sentence. Don't just say, we should hang out. Say, we should hang out. Are you around next weekend? Or I'd love to catch up. What does your schedule look like next week? Or even better, make a micro plan. We should hang out. I'm going to that new Italian place on Main Street next Thursday if you're free. By adding a specific time frame or even a specific idea, you send the signal, this is not just a polite goodbye. I am opening my calendar.
That is such a simple but powerful shift.
It is. Now let's talk about common errors learners make. This is where it gets really interesting because it varies by culture. Leo, imagine a learner from a culture where hospitality and invitations are very concrete and sincere. Say, many parts of the Arab world or Latin America. If a new friend says, come over anytime, they might literally show up at the person's house the next day without calling. In the US, that would be a huge surprise, maybe even uncomfortable. Anytime usually means when we've agreed on a time.
Right, because anytime isn't literal.
Exactly. Another common error is from learners who translate directly. In Spanish, tenemos que vernos, the we have to see each other, can carry a stronger sense of obligation or definite intent. Saying the direct translation, we have to see each other in English, can sound a little intense or demanding. We should see each other is softer.
And for Chinese speakers?
Great example. In Chinese culture, invitations are often offered multiple times to show sincerity, and it's polite to refuse initially. A Chinese learner might hear "let's get lunch" and, out of politeness, say, "Oh no, I couldn't trouble you," expecting the American to insist. But the American, following their own script, might just say, "Okay, maybe another time," and drop it. The learner is left thinking the invitation wasn't sincere, and the American thinks the learner wasn't interested. It's a classic cross-cultural miss.
Wow. It's like two people following different rule books.
It absolutely is. And that's why decoding this isn't about calling Americans fake. It's about understanding the rulebook so you can play the game comfortably. The intention behind "let's catch up" is almost always positive. It's a way of saying "I value you" and this connection. The execution is just non-binding.
Okay, I have to ask, is this dishonest?
That's a heavy word. I think it's more about social efficiency and avoiding confrontation. Imagine if every time you ended a pleasant chat with an acquaintance, you had to have a whole discussion about your actual availability for the next 2 months. It would grind social life to a halt. These phrases allow us to end interactions warmly without getting into logistics. The problem is only when the expectations are mismatched. When everyone knows the rules, no one gets hurt.
Got it. So it's a pragmatic social tool.
Yes. Now, get ready, because in a few minutes you're going to make the exact mistake that 90% of learners make when they try to follow up. We're going to practice, and I'm going to show you how to fix it.
No pressure.
All right, let's practice. I'll give you a scenario. You just had a great networking chat with someone named Alex at a professional event. As you're leaving, Alex says, "Really enjoyed talking with you, Leo. We should definitely connect and grab a coffee to talk more about the industry." What do you say?
Okay, I say, yes, absolutely. I'd love that. Let's do it.
Stop. That's the mistake. You just agreed vaguely and put the ball back in their court. You're back to waiting. How can you improve it? Remember, take the initiative with a low-pressure next step.
Right. So, yes, absolutely. I'd love that. I'll send you a LinkedIn connection request tomorrow, and we can find a time that works.
Perfect. Gold star. You showed enthusiasm. You named a specific, easy action. Send a LinkedIn request, and you kept the timing vague but immediate. Point tomorrow, but you've turned a networking cliche into a professional follow-up plan. Alex will be impressed.
Nice. Okay, another one. A friend you haven't seen in a year comments on your social media post. They write, "Miss you. We need to catch up soon. You want to see them." What do you reply? I reply to the comment, "Miss you too. Yes, let's catch up. When are you free?"
Close, but putting "when are you free" on a public comment is a bit too much logistics for public view. Also, it's a very open-ended question that requires work from them. Try a direct message instead, and in the message, give options.
So I send a private message, "Hey, so great to hear from you. I'd love to catch up. Would you be up for a video call next week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday evening?"
Excellent. You moved to a private channel, you expressed desire, and you offered specific, easy-to-answer options. You've made it incredibly easy for them to say yes or counteroffer. That's the key. Reduce friction.
This is so practical. I love it.
Now, here's your listener challenge. I want everyone listening to think of one person they've exchanged a "we should catch up" with recently. Your homework is to send them a follow-up message this week using the templates we talked about. Take the initiative. Be the one who makes the vague promise real, and pay attention to how it feels and how they respond. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'm gonna do it. I have a few we shoulds hanging out there.
We all do, Leo. We all do. All right, let's do a quick recap because this is audio and repetition is your friend. The 3 common social promise phrases are "we should do this," "a get-together," "let's catch up," and "call me anytime." They are often polite conversation closers, not literal plans. The unspoken rule is, the person who wants to make it a real plan should take the initiative with a specific, low-pressure next step. The magic words are, "I'll text you," "I'll send you a message," or offering specific days up at times. This helps you avoid feeling ignored and helps you sound proactive and natural.
And the big cultural insight is not to take these phrases as literal commitments or signs of dishonesty, but as gestures of goodwill. that you can choose to act on.
Beautifully said. Today's single, memorable takeaway: when you hear "let's catch up," your new mental response should be, "Great, I'll follow up," not "I'll wait for them."
I'll follow up. Got it.
If this decoding of hidden social rules made your life easier, imagine what our daily episodes can do. We break down the real unspoken English you need for work, friendships, and everyday life. Hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss a lesson that could save you from confusion or embarrassment.
And tell us in the comments about your experiences with these promise phrases. Have you ever been confused? Are you going to try the follow-up challenge?
Thanks for listening to Speak Like a Native. Remember, it's not just about the words, it's about the rules behind them. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Until next time, keep practicing.
And we're clear.